I made over $1 million in just about 3 years, and here's why I'm pivoting. But first, just to give a little bit of context who I am, my name is Max Hofert. I am a 10, almost 11-year recovered alcoholic and addict, and been skateboarding for over 30 years. And now I pour a lot of my addictive energy into starting businesses. I started my own branding studio a little over 4 years ago now, and it's been just leveling up year after year, getting busier and busier. But the problem is, as I scale, it's getting harder and harder for me to actually remove myself from the business. So I'm doing a lot more managing people, project management, admin, operation-oriented stuff, constant client communication, all the stuff that doesn't get me fired up as a creative. And so after reading a lot of books like Buy Back Your Time and Built to Sell, and there's tons of them out there, the past couple of years I've really been working at trying to remove myself from the business and the day-to-day. But it's just, when you do retainers, like half of our projects are large brand identity and website projects, and then we usually move those clients into retainers. So we'll provide ongoing like landing page design if we build someone's website, or animation, or social shit. But as you introduce all of those complex elements, you need different people for all those skill sets. So once you have 5 retainer clients, and these are really chunky, big retainers, you need a big team, and there has to be someone to manage all those people. And so a lot of the clients came from relationships that we had previously, and so they wanted to talk to me, they wanted to text me, to call me when shit goes wrong, which I totally get. But the money was great, especially the past year, but my happiness is just kind of declining, the more money we make with this business model. So I came to a realization that I need to pivot and make the switch, and that's where Powerbomb was born. So with the madness of the day-to-day, where there's so many different tailored things to every single client, Powerbomb is the exact antithesis of all that shit. So it's one process, one simple service, and that's it. And we just crush it at that. And it's actually something that we've been selling a bunch of this year already without even marketing it. So I know that there's product market fit there with startups, which is our primary clientele. And so it just kind of hit me like a wall one day after reading the book Built to Sell. And so I just knew I needed to do something different in 2025. So then that's when I set out on this. I just decided I'm going to build a new company in 40 days, and that's Powerbomb. So this is going to walk through a little bit how it went from zero to the midway, which is right now, and all of the shit that's involved in that. And so it's important to know that this is not just me putting up a website and telling my friends that I'm starting another graphic design or branding studio. This is I'm treating it more as a CPG product, but B2B. So there's going to be a lot of CPG tactics being used to market and sell and advertise Powerbomb. And so I'm needing to build a lead gen machine with this. So from day one, I have to have a sales team in place. I have to have traffic coming. I have to have ways to bring traffic in to hit my numbers, which are pretty chunky. I'm trying to hit 1.8 in revenue million this first year and scale that beyond. And so big goals. I think it's really important to set big goals, and that's not going to just happen by telling people on LinkedIn that I'm starting a new thing. There needs to be systems in place, and I have a ton of good ideas to share with you guys. All right, so now after I decided I wanted to do this 40-day challenge and post about it on LinkedIn and social media and all that good stuff, let's start at week 1. So I went through a pretty in-depth competitive analysis looking at the offerings that do exist, and it was very clear right away that there's a huge opportunity, because everyone just acts like an agency. They talk like an agency. They look like an agency. It's just so fucking boring. And so Powerbomb is the opposite of all that shit. It's going to be so weird and just entertaining, hopefully, to interact with. And it's just going to be bizarre when you see us out there. And I think it's going to be for the best. So you're on the road for the experiment. And so from there, I came up with the value prop and what goes into it, and started building out what the deliverables in the package should be, which ideally what I came up with is we're going to do a workshop strategy workshop with key stakeholders from the company. And by the end, you're going to have a full brand world to be able to take to market. And so there's no guessing of what you're going to get. It's just packaged up with a neat fucking bow on it for you to have on a silver platter. So towards the end of the first week, I had luckily a bank of names that I just jot down over the past year and a half, names that I thought were cool. And so I just started going through those, and a lot of them were already trademarked and already no domains available, no social media available. And so then I landed on Powerbomb and started to look in the USPTO database for trademarks, and that sucker was available. And so the ideas started flowing, and I got a good domain for it, powerbomb.io, and got the social handle to match. And so that's when stuff just started clicking with the new name. And it's kind of funny because I actually am not even a WWE fan, but all these ideas for wrestling just started flowing through my head, how to make this feel really cool and different. And so there's a lot of surprise and delight that's going to happen with this brand, and it's been honestly super fun to mess around with already, and I'm stoked about it. So wrapping up week one, I paid my trademark attorney to start filing the stuff for that and make sure that it's actually covered. And so we're trademarking in clothing and a couple other things too. And then as I approach week two, that's when I start doing the visual identity system, designing logo, color palette, type. I really wanted illustration to play a big part in this, so I spent tons of time digging through all these illustration styles, and I landed on one that I was so stoked about. So I reached out to them, and unfortunately they were booked, but I started begging them, and I was like, I'll pay extra, like can you just do one for launch? And then we can finish the rest post-launch in January, and they agreed to it. So I'm really stoked about that, and I already got it back, and it's just looking so killer, so I can't wait to share it with you guys. And then with that, I started the UX UI process, and one of the main things is the checkout flow, which I knew was going to take a lot of thinking from UX standpoint because it's a high ticket item. So it's like, do we want to treat it as an enterprise SaaS where people fill out a form and then our salespeople or my EA reaches out to them and starts the sales process that way? Or should it be 50% deposit and just be a standard Stripe checkout and they can go through it that way? And so it took a lot of thought. I ended up landing on making it as easy as possible. So they do a 50% deposit for $12,500, and then they would automatically get sent the contract, and that's kind of what locks it in. And then they would pay at the end the other 50% through the Stripe checkout. We'll see how it works. That's the best thing that I came up with, and I tested it with a couple friends who are in the target demographic, and that's kind of where their head was at too. So if we need to pivot, we can easily do that. I have both built up in Webflow, so we can easily switch the other one on. And so then operations wise, it's super important. Sales is the most crucial part for Powerbomb to be successful. So I came to the realization I need 2 to 3 salespeople, each doing 2 to 3 projects, getting 2 to 3 projects per month. And so the other thing that took just so much time working with my operations consultant was figuring out a commission structure for them, something that would be very lucrative, but also knowing that they're not full-time employees. So what's going to motivate someone without me having to spend $150K per person on a salary? And so finally got the commission structure dialed there, which was really, really helpful. And then playing off a lot of the WWE stuff, I started working through messaging and tone of voice and all that good stuff, which has been really, really fun. I'm doing a lot of the copy, all the copy right now on my own, which I'm kind of a control freak, so it's a little bit better that way for this. Then coming into week 3 of this 40-day challenge, building a business from an idea to launch in 40 days. It's fucking crazy. I started thinking about marketing ideas in the funnel, knowing that I want to hit 1.8 million in revenue for the first year, which will break down to like 1.2 or 1.3 profit if everything goes right. We'll see. And so I just started trying to come up with funnel ideas as far as lead magnets and all that good stuff, and just really bizarre marketing ideas and advertising ideas. So I have like a Lucha Libre mask that I'm going to be using for a lot of shit. And then like I want to get a championship belt made, the WWE gold ones. So I think there's a lot of room for fun shit and many more wacky, crazy ideas that may or may not work. And then was rounding up a lot of testimonials from clients that we have gotten over the past couple years. And so we got a absolutely killer one from Josh Dumel from a project we just did with him, which was a sprint. And so just a lot of stuff like that. So many moving pieces. It's like each individual thing opens up 20 different other cans of worms. So we're going to have like a widget in the website that people can actually leave reviews on. So we're going to try and automate some of that. Now towards the end of week 3, the website is getting really close. A lot of it is me filling in the CMS, adding case studies. We're working on animations, geo landing pages that I'm going to test out and create, which is essentially a spreadsheet, and I'm going to fill it out with all these different fields for high converting landing page design, and they're going to be location based. So I'm going to take major cities, images of those cities, and it's all based on schema, so that once those are published, it talks right away to Google. Then what's going to happen is when I hit publish on that spreadsheet, it's going to take those 150 locations, and through Zapier, it's going to plug straight into the CMS in Webflow, which is what we build all our sites in. And it's automatically going to just generate 100 to 150 landing pages that are going to be really SEO rich in those geographic locations. And then we're also going to start doing AdWords on Google Ads for driving people to those landing pages. So that's just one ad tactic that we're going to be testing out. Yeah, so a lot going on, way more than I could even cover in this video, which is going to be kind of long already. But what's coming up next, we're getting ready to launch this thing. We need to still tweak and add all the locations for the programmatic SEO. So that's going to be a lot of work. And then a lot of my push right now is creating tons of different sales materials that the sales team I'm onboarding can use to be able to sell these Powerbomb sprints. So we're going to be using a CRM. We're going to need all new emails, accounts for everyone so they can do outreach campaigns. I need to start scraping lead lists to give them an idea of who the ideal customer is for this, which is pretty targeted, I would say at this point. I have a really good idea of exactly who to go after, so that's always helpful. I need to onboard some designers, mid to senior level identity designers. I'm going to need a project manager, and then I'm working through onboarding with an EA, which is going to be really interesting. I'm excited about it because I've just been drowning in email, and it's like, to me, wealth is buying back your time and being able to just do what makes you the happiest and what you're passionate about. So I'm using some of my cash to then have an EA come in and kind of just protect my time a little bit more, especially with Powerbomb. I'm going to be very hands-off, just kind of growing the business and not in the day-to-day. It's going to be super systemized from every single thing. We'll have a SOP, and how everything runs will be very clear. And the idea is to maybe sell this thing in a few years. So, of course, we have a lot of work to do revenue-wise, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. It should be super fun. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning into this. It's pretty weird sharing all this shit, but it's also cool because it doesn't make me feel like it's quite as alone as it is. But it's definitely very challenging. I'm not sleeping a lot. Obviously running my branding studio on the side, which is insanely busy. Yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Share it with a friend, subscribe, send it to a fairy or a friend that might benefit from Powerbomb. We're gonna kick some serious ass in 2025, so watch out. Thanks, guys.